welcome to Talk A Latte. Today we have the fabulous, the wonderful Jello Shot. Your name is very cheeky, so what's the story behind your name?
Honestly, random.
Really random?
It's been, like, I've been working on creating a name for myself for quite some time because I really wanted to have, like, a pun. But then after, like, going through a few pun names and, like, finding some fun of them, I realized that my struggle with pun names of other people is that sometimes I just don't get it because English is my second language. So just not the first thing that like comes to my mind as like the meaning or understanding. And that just kind of moved me into another area of names which is just fun. And Jello shots are fun. They can be non-alcoholic, they can be alcoholic, they can be just Jello. And they have so much color, and I love color clearly, so...
I prefer Jello in the form of alcohol or psychedelic. Thank you. For those who don't know you, describe your drag in 3 words.
Oh wow, 3 words is a lot and not enough at the same time. But I would say playful, sassy, cheerful. I would add cheerful.
Obviously being so inspired by color and fun and frill, what was your first ever drag look and how would you roast that look now?
Oh my god, I can send you a pic. My very first like full drag look was a couple years ago when I was hosting the Drag Race finale with Sasha Colby. And to like make an invite for my friends, I decided to go in full drag and like make like a promo video and like promo pics and whatnot. And honestly, it's not too bad, but the wig makes me cry. Impressed with the contouring, very wide, not dimension to the skin. It has its ups and downs. But before that, I like had a trial makeup with like my friends while we were watching Drag Race way before, and that was like my first kind of tap in to like doing something close to drag with like makeup. That one, but I'm so happy I have no pics. That one was bad. I just had the giant eyes drawn all over my eyes, so I kind of went for like a dull look but without like practice and actual structure of the face of it. But listen, that's how we learn. So
what inspires your drag then? Are there certain themes or aesthetics? What are the wild ideas that you keep coming back to when it comes to your drag persona and your look?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, having fun with it. Just at any point, as long as I'm having fun like doing this on with the makeup I have, with the clothes I have, it's absolutely a win for me. For like quite a few years, I've been kind of going back and redoing my closet in a way of just, tapping into more color. And that's kind of like what I'm known for in my friends. And when thinking of my drag persona and what it would embody and what it would have, it would have a lot of rainbow, a lot of sparkle, a lot of glitter, because it's just fun. It's like a disco ball.
Yeah.
Gotta go with that, but also a lot of storytelling. So as much as there is fun, there is like jiggle of the Jello and whatnot, there is also somewhat of a story I'll try to tell with the mimics, with like movements, with like maybe props. That's very inspiring. So in a way I would describe it maybe as a phrase, you never know how the Jello shot will hit you. Like, you can laugh, you can cry, you might be fine, you might get tipsy very quick. You know, it's Jello shots, they are like that.
Drag is a powerful form of self-expression, but it's not always the easiest path. What has drag meant to you personally?
That's a very good question. I had like quite a long road towards just even understanding that I want to do drag or like that I can do drag. I am non-binary, quite okay with my body presenting. I'm not like undergoing any transitioning, so I'm very cis-passing. and I don't want to take up this space when there are people who definitely like from more vulnerable places, well, they just deserve more representation than me, and I wasn't sure if I should even like take it up because I don't think I'm the person to tell those stories. Going through a few drag dance classes with Sasha Tees, I learned that no, it doesn't really have a shape as long as like, yeah, you telling the story of a community, you connecting it with a community, you raising up the community you're from, and like people look the way they look. It doesn't mean that's who they are on the inside. It doesn't mean that's how they feel, and that really helped me kind of come to understanding that yeah, even though I am fan presenting and cis passing and all, I can still do very femme drag, and it still can be fun, and it still is a resistance against the norm, and it still is the fight for the LGBTQ plus community in a way. The other part of that is that I am neurodivergent, so I have both ADHD and autism. And I'm so used to masking that being able to choose and create my own mask to just present and like have fun with it is so mentally empowering for me. Like it's not because I'm trying to fit into others, it's because this is what I want to show. And I don't know, it just gives me a lot of like mental clarity in terms of like I have control over how I present and what I do. And yeah, well, it's almost like art therapy. Like a lot of times in therapy, even there are exercises of like, oh, draw like think about the feeling you had or the memory, and like draw something that like you feel would portray it, or just draw. I had a lot of that in my like first therapy sessions, and like it really is similar in a way that you let the unconscious part of you kind of merge with the conscious part in controlled way, and both release those emotions and kind of like come in terms with them. And definitely through drag performance, and as you mentioned with like certain connections to like songs or like certain movements or anything, it's almost like taking control and ownership over that, and like yes, I'm channeling that through this in control, fully myself, how I want it, how I see it. So yeah, I'm not over it, but I'm good with working with it further, and I'm like comfortable with it.
Yes. Yeah, the hardest challenge sometimes is being able to feel comfortable enough to sit in those emotions and those thoughts and be able to just move past it and like not disassociate from it, but like it's the fluffy white cloud that you can watch passing and observe by, but you don't have to hold on to it. That's honestly, thank you for sharing that. That's really powerful, and I think a lot of people will resonate with that. So you've made a huge journey from the place that you were born to Canada. How has that shaped your sense of self and your artistry?
Oh wow. Well, it kind of like almost rebuilt it in a way. So I moved here, what is it, like 7.5 years ago. Before that, all my life I lived with my parents. I lived in Moscow in Russia. Like I didn't really had a chance of living on my own, getting to learn who I am from like, well, apart from just like times I would be alone, but it's still like you're like it's hard to describe what exactly living by yourself sometimes, just like as an adult, helps you in realization. Who are you as a person? What are your needs? How do you want to live in the first place? Because a lot of that gets either taken care of or overshadowed by your family, your parents, your just society around you. Because like yeah, you live with your parents and you have like certain expectations and whatnot, and plus there is like the whole cultural aspect, and a lot of that. So as much as I tried to be in touch with myself unconsciously, a lot of that came out when I first moved out here, and the first year or two were very challenging because that was a lot to process and a lot to face, and like again on your own, because I didn't really had any connections here. I had some friends through college, and bless them, they were amazing. For the mess that I was, after like coming out of a quiet controlled space into just like, here's the freedom of all for you that you wanted, but we won't give you the rules. We don't know what you're gonna, you just do what you do. And that was definitely messy. So it took like quite a few years for me to actually tap in, and like as we were talking about in the previous question, kind of layer that whole onion of like, oh, actually I do have depression. Oh, actually there is also anxiety. Oh, also that all comes from generational trauma. Wait, I have trauma. And like one by one by one by one. And if as you mentioned, for you it was through drug, how it helped you kind of start peeling that off. For me it was the opposite journey, because it was almost like being in a room where there is a projection of the world, but actually those are fake walls, and just breaking wall by wall to see the actual picture. And definitely hard, a lot of work, but after that, seeing drag and like getting to know people who perform and seeing them perform, with that open-mindedness where I ended up after all this work, I was able to actually foresee it for myself. So I kind of went from like the other end in there. I remember attempting to start Drag Race, like watching it in the first year that I came here, and I did not connect at all. I knew I was bi by that time, but it still was very, like the community and just understanding of the culture and all was still so far from me that I didn't even like know how to start, and I didn't really had anyone to like help me with that, so it kind of passed by. But after all those years I went back to it, and it almost like I was looking at the same episode with very different eyes, and I saw things that like I didn't have glasses to see at a time.
So
it is about the
relatable.
journey and the spot you are in now where you're happy. So
Was there a moment after coming to Canada specifically that made you feel truly free in your drag?
well, it's hard to answer that drag wise, mainly because I started quite recently, so it's not like I have a lot of experience with that. But even just seeing the very first ad on drag dance classes that xXx has started, like the very first term, just like seeing that, oh, that's supported by local government, that's like in the local community centers, it may open, and like just anyone who wants can sign up, and it's free. And all together that just was insane to me, because that could never happen, at least in like I don't think in any upcoming, well, not any upcoming, but in any recent times or future recent times in Russia, hopefully one day. But I could not even imagine that being possible. That like I wouldn't even dream about it, because that wasn't a possibility to me to think that can just be out here. And yeah, just honestly signing up, going there, seeing so many people who are interested in that, and not even necessarily if they want to perform, if they want to have a drag career or a drag persona, or just experiences as like an independent drag artist, but like they still want to tap into it together as a group. It's just like being within this community is very freeing. And even though majority of time I'm just on my own, kind of like closed in the corner, like, okay, I'll just learn how to dance, and I observe all this wonderful queer folks who are so happy, and that makes me happy, and that's all I need. And like I don't necessarily talk to a lot of people or anything, but just existing in the same space and being able to be in the same space, like again openly and with support of like again, like the local government systems and just people overall, is very empowering and freeing on its own. But I just wanted to add, queer wise, I felt very free, honestly, as soon as I like came here, because I immediately signed up for the LGBTQ plus club and like kind of like community space in my college to help them, because it was like, okay, well, now I'm allowed to do this, I will be doing it either way.
If you could go back and give yourself advice at the start of your journey in terms of drag and queerness, what would you say to your younger you?
That nothing is gendered. For a very long time, like I started just playing around with makeup maybe 5-6 years ago, because I just was like, I'm not a girly girl, I'm not like a boyish boy either, I'm just here. And kind of like through my body language, like looking back, and a lot of that, I always tried to mix kind of both, to not give out the like girly vibe, or specifically like I'm like behaving like a man type of thing. I always kind of unconsciously lean towards just not presenting as any sort of gender, and because of those very strict rules in like society, and especially in the Russian culture, I still had to comply to a certain extent. And even like when my parents would make me like wear dresses, or like look specifically feminine and like sexy and whatnot, at least like makeup is where I was able to say, I'm not participating in that, not interested in that, not doing that. My face was like cute enough for them to let me just, yeah, that doesn't matter, you can go on as you are. So just like not putting things into categories and boxes. I think that's what I'm trying to say with all that. And it's not only just makeup, it's in general societal behaviors, even wise, even just like understanding my own queerness. Like you don't have to be just in one box specifically and only there, and you're allowed to sit just there. You can't like have two legs and two, or like also like sometimes go and drink tea at like another one or anything, pun not intended, but that it's much more fluid. And you should I wish I would allow myself that fluidity at the beginning, to explore and really understand what each what just everything means to me in queer culture and queer meanings, and how I feel, how I want to present, who I want to love, how to love, and all that.
What do you think people misunderstand the most about being a drag artist?
Weirdly, referring back to the previous point, the boxes also, like I find that a lot of people kind of like to put you as one type of performer, or okay, only this type of people, like for a while, especially with like Drag Race, for example, like cis gay men is who are drag queens, and you either drag king if you like FAB, or just don't go there. And like looking at the same Drag Race, it was pretty transphobic beginning with that, and it was a long journey for them to at least like openly support trans community, and yet alone like have trans contestants, and like trans women being drag queens, which is like, why not? Why are you putting these boxes? Like again, it's art, and it's just same fluid as like the identity, as like your feeling of yourself. Like it's so ever changing. It's however you feel this year, this day, this season. That's how you want to present. That's what you want to showcase with your art. That's what you want to perform as. And yeah, I feel like as like a lot of popular ideas about drag come with those boxes as well, and it's about like breaking those now, because I feel like it's as helpful as it is for starting, it also is damaging for just the freedom of art itself, and for whoever wants to try. Like, speaking of the same drag race, many morphosis, great drag queen, cis straight man,
amazing,
so supportive, insane example of how allyship works, and what you should do and how you need to fight for your own, while you like still participate in the art because you do it respectively. That's all you need to do, and I'm so happy no one said no to him when he started. Well, I'm sure a lot of people did, but like that they let it show like that. It's just having less strict rules, because I feel like it goes just in general against the idea of art and what art's supposed to do, yet alone drag art.
I remember there was this one drag, I'm gonna call him a drag thing. You could call him a drag king, but they're more of like they're into the gender fuckery of it all. Their name is Rose Butch. If you ever get an opportunity to look them up, do it.
Something tells me I've heard of them.
Honestly, if you haven't heard of them, I'd be very surprised. They're very, very great at what they do. Like, they've always been an artist I've been in awe of. Always appreciated their art. I've worked with them for a very long time, and I can say like what they present on stage is pretty bun on to things I've seen overall in the industry, and it's exciting. You know, I feel like they should be on Drag Race by now, but I don't understand why they're not. Maybe that's their personal choice, but like, they need to be out there, you know what I mean? But I'm so glad that there's representation like that in the world, and there's even starting to come through on Drag Race. Switching gears a little bit, we're going to talk a little bit about love, art, and collaboration. You're with an artist, married to an artist, and how does your creativity flow between both of you?
Okay, well, yeah, I am married to a wonderful man. Very unexpected, but as I like to always say and joke, last man I ever dated. But thankfully, I think it's in a way that like we will go till the end, because I never even envisioned myself being loved so much and appreciated and respected by another person, and be so close that I have like no mask. It wasn't like kind of similar to doing drag. It wasn't even a possibility to me, and a lot of my healing came from that. But speaking of the artistry of it all, he is very artistic and creative. There is so many hobbies he would tap into, and most of them are with like connected to creativity. Like right now, it's a lot of mini painting. So we have like a whole studio in our loft basically set up for it, with like an airbrush that because he has like some engineering background, he can also just think of things to make himself instead of like buying a giant setup. And there is creativity in that too, just in engineering how it will work for you and doing it yourself. And because of that, he also is very into lighting and photography, because he takes pictures of all his work. But then he also is very into birding, so that's where another part of photography and lighting and editing comes in, because a lot of just natural light and colors and focusing goes into that if you want to capture like especially wildlife in a beautiful way. And that's just like parts of that. He used to do like magic before, meaning like magic tricks, and teach it to kids because he had some EC background. It's just in a beautiful way all over the place. And he tries to bring something from himself in there. And I think what it really did for me is show that I shouldn't be afraid of trying, even if I'm bad at a thing. Of course you will be bad at a thing. You're just trying it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I denied myself even just having simple hobbies for so long, because I just was conditioned that, okay, I tried it a few times and I'm still bad, not my thing, I guess, just not in the genes or whatever. No, you just gotta keep trying if you're having fun trying, and that's all there is, and that's all that matters. And just seeing him trying so many different types of artistry and like drawing as well, and just without fear, without holding back, just going for it, makes me want to try it. And that's how I got into drag, because I'm like, well, why not? Like, I guess you never know unless you try. You can always just go back and like, okay, I guess not my thing, don't feel comfortable and whatnot. But there's only one way to find it out, and it's to try. So yeah, that's very beautiful and very inspiring to me.
That's so amazing. I connect with that on a deep level. For those who don't know, I'm also married to an artist, and yeah, I grew up very much so identifying as pansexual,
Mm-hmm.
and I've dated every gender under the sun. And I was so traumatized by people just because, like, I would date a lot of heterosexual men who were so binary that they always wanted me to fit into that housewife role, and seeing me with so much power and ability within media and being a constant sex symbol in a lot of what I do made people in general very uncomfortable. And like, the men that I've dated would be like very reactionary and very aggressive and physical about it, and the women that I dated would become very emotional and almost like using psychological warfare against me to be manipulative. And then even like in trans relationships that I've been in, it's always been very much so like comparing my experience to theirs, you know. And after that, like, I didn't date, I wasn't romantic for since I moved to Canada, probably about 2 years before I moved to Canada. So 2012 to probably when I met my husband in 2020. Just very uninterested, because I was like so scared of like doing that. And he was like the first person that I met that I was able to actually like feel seen by, but like he read even deeper into me than even I thought I knew myself. And he's able to pull these like weird things out of me and make me try new things. Like, he took me to a rugging class, and now I like to make rugs in my spare time, because like, why not, right? And he's an artist. Like, he's done a lot of the same things that you guys see like in the background. Like, this backdrop that all the artists are in front of is actually like a LED light up board that has different frequencies and lights up with different patterns and can have messages and pictures projected onto it. And it's not in because it takes a lot of power, and he needs to be paid to turn that on, and I'm not paying him. But he's always been like a painter, but he has a background in mathematics. So he's very genius like that, and he can just think of things and the sequences of things and put things together that I'm just like, what the fuck? The other day he came home, he's like, oh, look, babe, I'm building you a pair of coconuts. I don't know if you can see those balls there. He's like building me light up coconuts for my production show. Sneak peek, I'm opening up a production. And it's been such a great experience. Even though we don't directly work with each other, it's always a collaborative experience with him. And it's the first time I feel like I can just be my true self. And he allows me in my chaotic, invasive thoughts to just word vomit on him, and he won't take it personally or misconstrued. He'll be like, okay, so what does that actually mean? Because like, we know that you're just venting and like those are just words, but like, let's get to the heart of it all. And I'm just like, you're the only person who's ever given me the grace to understand that. Cool. I love that.
Honestly, 1-to-1 same. Just being allowed to be yourself and knowing that, like, it's still a work in progress for me, but to not be afraid that, oh no, I like got caught off guard, got triggered or something, got into bad emotion, they will leave now. They like will respond negatively or like scream at me or something. And then they don't. And they just hug you and like, okay, well, why is it this way? How can I help you? And they understand that it's not personal from you. And that's like a negative example. There's of course a lot of like positive ones that are working in a similar way. But it's just so empowering and freeing of being allowed that just space to be safe, honestly. That's like the main thing. And yeah, then with the creativity, I'm sure you would relate similarly that he inspires me and I inspire him. So it's just like almost like so gross, so cheesy. I'm so sorry.
We complete each other.
The infinity flow of energy and creativity and whatnot. And it sounds like that's very similar to what are you two tapping in. And it makes me very happy to see that there is someone else also experiencing that, because I know how good it feels to be finally seen and safe.
Yeah.
And especially after the long journey, like, so, I mean, everyone has their own thing. Yeah.
But you know what, like, when you find that person who's your person, it's just like, it's so electric. It's just a completely different experience that you would never expect in life. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, like in previous relationships, I would have been like, oh yeah, I found one. And now I look back at that and I laugh at myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no even light of comparison. Like, different world, different atmosphere. And it's crazy. You know what I mean? I love that. I love that. I love. I'm all like,
I know.
over here. So what is the wildest and most unexpected thing that has happened to you during a performance so far?
Okay. Sorry. So I had my debut a couple of weeks ago at AOK, so like in the bar. I had the previous one kind of semi-debut on a showcase that we had on our previous drag dance term. And that one went well, and I wouldn't say there was something. I guess what surprised me there was just how well it was received. And yeah, I don't know. People cheering other people on always brings me joy, so that was great. But during my drag debut a couple weeks ago, well, first was that I thought I counted enough socks to have my ankles supported really well in my boots. No. So, lesson learned. And I said it then. I told it to Maddie. I will keep telling it to everyone. I know I told it in drag class. Comfy shoes were so much more. No, don't try to overpower it. And nothing bad happened. However, during my second performance, I like kind of went on the floor to do like a couple floor things, and I was kind of diving in with my front body, and I just like flapped my face on the concrete floor intensely. Thankfully, my nose is mainly just cartilage. Like I'm lucky that it's not like I don't have a lot of hard cartilage here, so it's like very squishy. So I didn't even have a bruise. It like went into the bounce part. But that was scary when I came up. I was like, I gotta continue, and like I did. Nothing like bad happened, but I was like, I'm afraid to look in the mirror. What if like things are bad?
I feel that.
It might be.
I feel that.
But I feel like outside of just unexpected and like frightening experience, I think just how much fun people have as the like audience. I always was on the audience part. I never was someone looking at the audience. So it was very, I don't know, very interesting to kind of almost look at my past self through them and being like, oh yeah, I was there sitting with the, like, with a tip, very excited and just happy to see someone do something that makes them happy, and they clearly like having fun, and I'm just having fun looking at them doing that, and kind of like completing that full circle. I didn't think I would feel that or think about it, but I did, and it almost like made me at peace and at home while like being full on costume, just like walking around at the bar here.
Comfortable shoes is fine. I know a lot of drag race girls will complain about it, but as long as the shoe looks purposeful to the outfit,
Yeah, if it works together, it works.
that doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, part of growing up as a drag artist is seeing Drag Race and being like, no, you actually are wrong.
Exactly.
You know what? Kitten Hill, go.
If you had to do a lip sync battle against your partner, what song are you picking to destroy them?
Okay, well, if I want to like destroy, I do want to also give him a fair chance. So if I want to give a fair chance, but knowing that I will destroy him, it would be Blank Space by Taylor Swift. We somehow just connected to it when we like started dating and like kind of listened to it a lot together. So I know he knows it. So I know he would be able to do it. But I also envisioned myself performing it multiple times, and I have some ideas for the future with that, and probably would go further. But if I wanted to be as fair ground as possible, it would be Seagulls, which is a bad Star Wars. I think it's not lip sync, but it's like lip read song where they just redid the song with the mix of Star Wars just video, making it funny, and it's just the silly song about Yoda being afraid of seagulls. Like we sang it at our wedding and just danced, the two of us. Like it's silly and stupid, but it's so fun, and we're both having fun just like dancing to that in a random way.
Yeah.
So that would be like if I really want to be fair.
That's totally
But
fair.
if I want to destroy it, then
That's
Blank
totally
Space.
I would destroy my husband at anything. I'm kidding.
I think my husband will destroy me at Beyonce Single Ladies because he performed it as a dance in high school. So
I live. If drag didn't exist, what do you think you'd be doing instead?
honestly, I'd like to think I would be doing something. Hopefully theater. I didn't really had a chance to try it out because there just weren't like student clubs or anything, or like local things starting with that were too demanding and too like strict to a certain vision of a performer they want. So I can't say if I would be good at it, but that's probably where I would end up at a certain point. But it will be very sad if I would not be able to do drag, because I kind of was in a way doing it since childhood, because I would I can't sing, I don't really I don't have hearing. I know you can train it, but it would be a very long journey for me and I'm not ready to invest in that. But I would always lip sync.
Yeah.
I would put Disney's songs on movies that I really liked and perform them in front of my parents like I am in the cartoon doing that, but also while dancing and storytelling. And sometimes I would throw in a dress I had or something, or something fun to wear, and essentially that is the lip sync performance 1-to-1.
Okay.
So it just was meant to be.
You know, I always tell my husband if I wasn't in drag, I'd be a stripper.
That definitely was another one.
He was like, yeah, you would. If Jello Shot were a cocktail or a flavor in that Jello Shot, what alcohol and spirit or flavor are you going to be?
Oh,
what's your combination?
Okay. Well, tequila. I know you would say, oh, but you're from Russia, vodka. And listen, I went with that stereotype for way too long. Tequila is great. And cocktails too. And it has such a nice spice. It's just so much more flavorful. I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
I agree. I agree.
So that and whatever you get in a Blue Lagoon. I know only just a homemade cheap type of combination, which is I think banana cream liquor and blue sourpuss.
Sourpuss! Ah, I love it.
Iconic, but it tastes good.
It does.
But it probably would be a combination of those.
I feel you. I'm like really trying to think of what mine would be now. Mine would have to be green apple sourpuss.
Oh.
With grenadine, with banana cream liqueur and tequila, and maybe a shot of triple sec in there as well. I think that would be my combination. That would be the ugliest looking shot ever because it'd probably be like baby puke brown. I would want it to be red, to be honest. But
I mean, you can food coloring.
That's true. But I think that would be my mix.
Ooh.
I don't know what that would taste like. Now, if you could put any celebrity into drag, who would it be, and what would their drag name be?
Oh my god. Well, okay. First that comes to mind is honestly Pedro Pascal because I feel like he would do such a good job. He's just so funny and so open and so like sweet that I feel like he'd do justice. For the name, I feel like it's gotta be a pun for him, but I feel like because he's like the daddy of the internet, should be like Mother Poppy or something. And I would leave the facial.
If you could swap aesthetics with any drag artist for a day, who would it be?
Oh, I mean, I gotta go local and Ziggy Stardust. The goth of it all, beautiful. The lines, I could never. The black shading as like the contouring, I tried it a couple times. I just can't. It's so hard to nail it in the right way, and also like not ruin the base because like with general makeup, I do like my eyes first and then I do the base.
Mm-hmm.
While with this, like A, it's white. B, you gotta have it all even out and ready to go while doing it on top of it. So one wrong thing, you're gone.
I would choose Misconduct.
Oh, that, yeah.
Because I feel like they would take me there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I love their like freakish folklore-esque. Like, that's like the Gothica I grew up with. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the altar.
It's hot. I love it. I love it. A lot of people don't assume that of me, but I grew up as a goth kid, so I'm really into that aesthetic. What is one thing you always have to have in your drag bag?
Ooh. I mean, eyelash glue and eyeliner.
So what is next for Jello? What are some exciting projects you want to work on or are working on? What is next for you?
Well, first of all, I think it's April 29th, right? Yeah, come see us at the drag showcase with Sasha Tees.
Yes, I will have that linked in the description below so you guys can go ahead and buy tickets if you want to come see.
So that's like the main thing. Obviously, more shows, performances upcoming, but they're as upcoming to you as to me. So we'll see when. We'll be happy. But so far, just prepping ahead. So if there is something coming, I have a number ready. It's always eases up the anxiety.
What is the way that the people can connect with you and find out more information about Jello?
Yeah, well, honestly, one and only Instagram at hello.it's.jelloshot. hello.it's.jelloshot. Double T, double A, double L on hello. When I got that name, I thought, oh my god, that's the easiest handle. And then whenever I bring it up, it's like, oh yeah, you can follow me here. I'm like, oh my god, so long. But that's where you'll find me.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I know there's so many people who are going to relate to your story and your drag. I am so excited for people to connect with you and see your art at work. But until next time, everybody, that's been Talk A Latte. Stay true. Welcome to the universe and be you. And we'll see you next time.